Yo, welcome to Trippy Commentaries and our 2014 Fantasy Football Draft Post Show. We will recap all of our own teams as well as what Yahoo deemed the best drafted team, of course, heading into the season. So let's go ahead and take a look at the first couple rounds here. I guess we'll look at 1 through 6 and see if anything stands out. Of course, Peyton Manning going number 1 overall.
Huge.
That's pretty crazy, but I kind of like that. It made the draft feel pretty unique. And what came next just seemed to get crazier and crazier. It's really hard to make your decisions, even though you have a full minute and a half. I'm RJ, joined up with all the fellow league members. We got Justino.
Hey.
FPS Kyle.
Yo, what's going on?
Mike.
What up, everyone?
How do you feel about your team, Miguel?
Great. Love my team.
We'll definitely break it down a little bit more in depth here pretty soon. But first, just kind of looking through it, you have Peyton Manning going number 1 overall. Jamal Charles 2 to Justin. Had to do it. LaShawn 3, I would have been tempted to go Adrian Peterson, who falls past Matt Forte to Mike at number 5. Adrian Peterson at number 5. That's quite the bargain there, Mike. Congratulations. Hopefully he pans out for you this year. Eddie Lacy falling to you at number 6. Kyle, that seemed like the guy you wanted all along.
Well, I can't believe it fell to me, but it was the whole Peyton Manning going number 1 that allowed that to happen.
It was a shocker.
Definitely. Yep. I went with Jimmy Graham at number 7. I had him ranked number 5 heading into the draft, so made sense for me. Fortunately, I just feel like there's no running backs that are worthy to actually pick over him. Marshawn Lynch, you can put an argument for. It's just he had a long season last year, eventually winning the Super Bowl. Running backs don't always bounce back too well from that. I'm going to try to play it safe here in the first round. Des Bryant, I'm happy that he was picked in the first round of the draft. He's a player who's worthy. I thought would maybe fall into the third, but in our draft, he actually goes in the first round. That's pretty cool. Demaryius Thomas, another wide receiver, getting picked directly after Monty Ball. This guy's going high. It's amazing. I mean, you kind of have no choice because of that offense, but he's not proven really at all.
It's a big combo there for Gary, man. Des Bryant and Demaryius Thomas. Those are 2 juggernauts at wide receiver.
Definitely. 2 solid number 1s.
Oh, yeah. And we will list out everybody's team in the description. We definitely want your feedback as far as who you think has the best teams. We'll definitely be, of course, covering everything, and everything's very fluent here in fantasy football, so we'll see who comes out on top, especially heading into week 1.
Yeah.
DeMarco Murray going to Jibo, who won it last year. That's going to be kind of a coin flip for him. If he stays healthy, he's got a legit running back. If he gets injured, could put him in a very bad spot. I went with Doug Martin. I'm high on him. The Bucs are certainly going to feature him, so I thought he was a pretty safe number 1 running back, especially because we saw him catch the ball a couple times in preseason, so hopefully that continues in the regular season. Kyle, Giovanni Bernard went right after that. It sounded like you were very happy to get him where you did.
Definitely. I love Giovanni Bernard. I love the running backs who can also catch passes, get a lot of receiving yards. He's going to do that, and I followed that up with Jeremy Hill later in the draft, so I think I have that covered.
Yeah, definitely interesting pick. Another interesting pick right after Kyle picked Giovanni Bernard. Mike went with a quarterback. So you weren't fucking around this year, Mike. You wanted an upper echelon quarterback. You had previously ranked Drew Brees over Aaron Rodgers, so you were true to that. You went with him. Bypassing another running back. Was there anybody else you were considering here? It looks like the next running back taken was Arian Foster, Andre Ellington, Le'Veon Bell, who you ended up getting. So, Drew Brees, it looked like might have been an easy pick for you.
Yeah, I saw Brees and Rodgers there, and I had to take Drew Brees.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's going to be solid like he has been the past couple seasons.
Oh, yeah.
And, it's always nice having that quarterback you can just throw out there every week and not even have to worry about.
Yeah, we're a little bit higher on Marcus Colston than we have been in the past few seasons this year. He seems to be fairly healthy. Brandon Cooks comes to the team. Jimmy Graham's looking good. Drew Brees. I think good things are ahead for you there, Mikey. Moving on, AJ Green goes next to Retro Brett. He's going to be happy with that. Aaron Rodgers, late second round to Matt. Brandon Marshall to Justin. Deshaun Jackson. Big run on wide receivers started to happen. Now, Justin, you were a big part of that because you drafted back-to-back receivers. Of course, in the first round, you got Jamal Charles. Were you thinking about going running back at all, or was it pretty much these receivers were too good to pass up?
Yeah, that's exactly what happened, man. What happened with the draft here is that Matt picked Aaron Rodgers right in front of me.
Mm-hmm.
So I was looking to get A-Rod. I was going to go quarterback high, and then
Mhm.
I was going to, take my losses later on with receivers and, running backs and whatnot. So
Yeah.
at that point, there wasn't really a top-tier quarterback left to pick, and I kept going, and I was just thinking receiver is probably the best option here,
Yeah.
and why not double up? And
Double up with number one caliber guys.
two number ones, you can't you can't beat having two aces in the hole
Mhm.
every week.
And after Antonio Brown, they're gone. So you got two of them. Antonio Brown, every guy after that really can't put as guaranteed number one. Maybe Alshon
Jordy
Jeffrey, Jordy Nelson. Where did I get him in comparison here?
Round 3.
Round 3. So, yeah, there he was right there. Yeah, that was a pretty good bargain. So maybe right after Jordy Nelson, then it's where it fell off. So lucky for me, because I'm the one who got Jordy. Looks like, because he is my number one. Had I not gotten him there, definitely could have gotten scary. I liked your pick before that. I know we're skipping a bunch of picks here, but I liked your pick before that, Zach Stacy, Kyle, and the pick before that, Le'Veon Bell, Mike in the 3rd round.
Yeah.
You got to be doing backflips.
Oh, I love Le'Veon Bell. I think he's going to have a solid season.
Yeah,
Was
he'll be
great
blazing.
in his rookie year.
No doubt. He'll be smoking down the field, that's for sure. And his buddy LeGarrette Blunt will definitely be
On my team as well. You got to
The
have
combo.
the Blunt with Bell.
Blunt and Bell
Bell
combo.
prefers to have Blunt with him.
I think we can officially proclaim Le'Veon Bell and LeGarrette Blunt the new version of Cheech and Chong. Let's move on. Matt Ryan going really high after a nice Julius Thomas pickup by last year's champ Jibo.
Now, what we heard, we got to go back to tape here, is that the Matt Ryan pick was the glitch in Yahoo.
Oh,
So
really?
Maybe to Jeff's defense, we'll see it because it was
happened a lot.
prevalent. You saw it on the screen,
I got fucked with it.
and a few people did get screwed with it this year.
I'm
That
okay
sucks.
with what happened.
We're
with
calling you
mine.
out, Yahoo. Like, what
Yeah.
the fuck?
Come on. Because we've been loyal Yahoo drafters here for a
Yeah.
while. Haven't had this problem in the past. This year kind of screwed us all one way or the other. You do have to have your players in the queue, and I will admit I got caught a couple times out of position there.
Happened.
Ray Rice, way too high, round 4. Alshon Jeffrey. So the list continues. Pretty good draft here, guys. One thing I do want to point out here was Andrew Luck, followed by Jordan Cameron. Oh, I got Andrew Luck. Kyle got Jordan Cameron. Manuel Sanders with Mike. That seemed like a big 1, 2, 3 punch there. And later that round, Justin got a really good bargain with Pierre Garcon.
Round 6.
Potential number 1 receiver, really low. Also, props to Raspo getting T.Y. Hilton. He was the guy I was scoping out. Was really hoping to get. Didn't happen. Matt's got a really solid team. Speaking of, he has been named, as we switch it up to the league board here, he has been named the winner. I know it's a little bit off screen here, but he is the, let's see, what are they calling it here? The winner, Raspo's team draft, I don't know.
Hall of Fame.
Yeah, Hall of Fame for having the best draft. Here it is, the best draft. There it is. So let's go ahead and see if we agree with this. Let's click on his team. Here he is. And let's see if we agree, guys. Quarterback Aaron Rodgers. Well done there, Matt. Antonio Brown as his number 1. Considering last year he had nearly 1,500 yards. That's amazing. Victor Cruz, number 2 receiver. LaShawn McCoy. Kyle, running back Shane Vereen as his number 2. Martellus Bennett, he's going with the unicorn there as his tight end. A little bit risky. T.Y. Hilton, love him there.
Yeah, Matt's a guy that likes T.Y. Hilton. It's pretty good that he got him because I know that Matt's always talked real good about T.Y. Hilton.
Yeah, Toby Gearhart. Oh man, he does have a solid team. I was fixing to come in here and kind of hate on it, but props to Matt. This is a solid team.
Yeah, as a third running back, Toby Gerhart, it'll do him justice, that's for sure.
Let's look at his IDP. I know a lot of you really don't play too much, but Harrison Smith, solid player, had injury issues. J.J. Watt, great job. Wow. Linebacker crew, fearsome as hell. Vontae's perfect, and Carlos Dansby, well done.
Yeah,
well
I really
done.
wanted Carlos Dansby.
Going with Peanut on the rebound, Mark Barron. Matt is a true contender this year. Well done.
And he actually gets a grade of an A- draft, according to Yahoo, as the draft grades are actually up and available to view as of right now.
Excellent. Let's move on to It Hurts When I Furt. That would be Mike's team. Let's see who you got, Mike. See, of course, how we feel about your team. More importantly, how the viewers and the subscribers feel about your team. Make sure you guys drop in your comment. Let Mike know exactly how you think his team will do. He has Drew Brees at quarterback once again. Can't complain there. Using Vincent Jackson as his number 1. Percy Harvin, number 2. A little bit interesting there. I think that certainly could... That's a boomer bust situation. That could be a huge number 2 for you. We'll see what happens. Adrian Peterson falls to you with the 5th overall pick. You got to be happy about that. Le'Veon Bell, I think's number 1 caliber. Put him at your number 2. Now, Emmanuel Sanders we're all high on, so we can't hate on that as number 3. Marcus Colston going with the 4 wide receiver setup. The question I have to you, Mike, are you happy with Zach Ertz as your go-to tight end?
Absolutely, I think Zach Ertz is going to be up there with, those big name tight ends. And I think
top 5 possibly.
Oh yeah, I think he's going to step his game up this year.
Yeah, he's been doing well in the preseason. And Nick Foles needs a new target. Not necessarily a new target, but you lose Deshaun Jackson, you need someone to go to in the end zone. I look for Zach Ertz to probably get some serious touchdown numbers this year. TJ Ward, looking good. New team, should be good for you. It seems like Denver safeties always do well. Calais Campbell broke out last year after having some other good seasons in the past. He might have had his best last year. Luke Kuechly, Alec Ogletree, sounds like a solid combo to me. Randy Starks coming off an injury. Michael Johnson for the Buccaneers. We'll see how he can do. He'll have to upgrade his sack numbers to be truly elite. Tramon Williams did pretty well last year. We'll see how Green Bay uses him this year. And I think we're all kind of high on Eric Berry this year. Seems like he might finally pull it all together and have not only a good fantasy season, but an excellent real-life season. Good team, Mike. They have given you a B grade. Are you happy with that grade? I mean, it's passing.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, I'm with you. Justin, it's time to put your team under the microscope here. You have Old Man Rivers at your quarterback. Andy Dalton, look at these numbers. I mean, 292 last year. Phillip Rivers, 297. Very respectable. I think between one of the two, you should hopefully be okay.
Yeah, it was kind of surprising to see those two names near the top of the quarterback scoring for fantasy last season.
Yeah.
So having one or the other, I feel pretty safe. I did wait really late to draft a quarterback, so that's my fault. I was aiming for some guys.
It's a good tactic.
They were getting scooped up, but fortunately I was able to beef up my receivers and my running backs.
I bet you it plays out in your favor,
Yeah.
to be honest with you.
We'll see. I mean, if one of those guys comes out as good as they were last year, specifically Phillip Rivers, then you're in good shape.
And Andy Dalton, number 5.
Andy Dalton
quarterback
ended
last year.
up at the end of the year right up there. So you went wide receiver heavy here, I feel, with your three stooges here. Brandon Marshall, Julio Jones, Pierre Garçon. That's probably one of the best threesomes or trios of wide receivers, of course, in the league. We'll have to take a look at that more in depth, but that's certainly a definite solid team for you as far as your wide receiver crew. You got Jamal Charles, is what it is. Congratulations. Frank Gore, that's kind of a question mark, but I feel like with Carlos Hyde there, I think he can be even more productive than he was last year. He's getting old, so we'll see how that goes. Let's see what you have for backups for Frank Gore. You have Reggie Bush, right, currently in a flex position. Ben Tate, he's the starter, and I'm hearing a lot of optimism. He's had injury problems in the past. If he stays healthy, I think he's at least running back 3 caliber.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I liked what I saw from him in Houston last year, and now that he has the chance to be the feature back in Cleveland, he has an opportunity to shine here because from what we're hearing in training camp and preseason, the other running backs aren't really doing anything to try to claim the number 1 job.
Not at all.
Exactly.
And Ben Tate fell pretty far in our draft, and it was
it
was to me it was like I gotta pick this guy. I need a little bit more depth at running back in case one of my other guys goes down.
Definitely.
One pick I do like of yours is Cecil Shorts, just because of how low you got him. He seems to be the number 1 guy, and if Bortles can get in there as good as Bortles looked in the preseason, that could really help his stock. Looks like your defense is pretty sound. Paul Posluszny was amazing last year. Kyle Williams also very good at that defensive tackle position.
Yep.
Tim Jennings normally solid. We'll see if Devin McCourty there still plays that hybrid role that he's known for in New England. They seem to love him up there, so I'm sure we'll see good numbers out of him as well. Also a B ranking, Justin. Once again, I mean, it is what it is, a B.
Not bad.
Yeah, can't really complain. It's better than a C or a D. Let's move on to FPS Kyle's team. Last year made the championship game. Unfortunately, fell short of repeating a championship.
Yep.
But he's coming back with a quarterback combination of Robert Griffin III and Russell Wilson. You'll have to feel that out. I know Russell Wilson will be in action the first game of the season. Keenan Allen, Cordero Patterson, and Julian Edelman. Seems like a fairly safe crew. We're pretty high on Cordero Patterson.
Oh, I'm really high on him. Like I said, last 4 weeks of the season last year, he was the number 1 receiver. Really blossomed last year. And, hey, we've seen a lot of good things out of Bridgewater. If those two were on the field at the same time, it's just going to up his stock. I like him there as a number 2. And Keenan Allen fell to me. Fell to me pretty low. I thought he'd go a lot higher. If he's my number 1, because I went running back heavy to start off, he's my number 1 receiver. I feel pretty confident in that.
Yeah, I'm with you there. Obviously, your running backs are your strength of your team. Eddie Lacy, definitely got him at a good position there. Giovanni Bernard, that's a number 2, high upside. Personally, I think Zach Stacy makes for a rock of a number 2, provided everything gets settled there without Sam Bradford. Yeah. Giovanni Bernard kind of as a wild card number 3. We'll see how that pans out. Regardless, still a strength for you. Let's move it down to your defense here. Looks like you got the Blair Witch Project there, Blair Walsh.
Skip over a few of these guys that are on the bench as well.
Who do you want to point out? You looking
got
at
guys like Brandon Cooks, who I think is going to be a beast this year. Obviously, Drew Brees. This guy is
handcuffing
very fast.
Jeremy Hill.
Probably one of the better receivers as a rookie this year. And another guy I'd like to point out, Justin Hunter. I think this guy is going to be a stud. I got him really late in the draft.
Yep.
And scooped up Jeremy Hill. Obviously, like you
definitely
said, Bernard,
need him with the Bernard.
With the Bernard, if something happens to Bernard, Hill's the guy. And, well, Hill's already shown us in the preseason he can carry the load.
Yeah. Your defense looks pretty solid. I don't see any holes whatsoever. I know you picked up Kenny Vaccaro there. That's going to be a good combination with Birdman, Jarris Byrd. Yep. And Eric Reed, I know, had some issues with some concussions. So maybe you look to get possibly a backup safety at some point.
He's
a sleeper, yeah.
Khalil Mack is definitely a money pick there. I think he'll be starting
he's my
for you.
second to last pick of the draft.
And you, Kyle, as well, have the B ranking. Moving on to my team last here, no surprise, have the B. I went with Andrew Luck. Kind of had to stretch for him a little bit, but I really feel like he's going to take a step up this year. Jordy Nelson, Michael Crabtree, and Terrence Williams are my wide receiver crew. I do like, of course, Jordy Nelson and Michael Crabtree. I also look for Mike Evans to step up, so I got him.
Yeah, Mike Evans is going to be your guy there.
I'll be honest, I am going to be looking on the waiver wire to see if I can find some wide receivers for depth throughout the season. Going with Doug Martin as my number 1, Rashad Jennings, I'm hearing good things about. Let's hope he does good for my sake in New York there. I do have his backup, Andre Williams. I went with the tight end as my strength here. Jimmy Graham and Rob Gronkowski. If both of those can be healthy and play at the same time, hopefully that gives me somewhat of an advantage.
A lot of touchdowns.
Terrence Williams, I feel like that position that he plays could be one of those sleeper positions for quality fantasy points. We'll see. Once again, Mike Evans. I have a complete rookie crew here on the bench, so we'll see what happens there. I really like my defense, guys. I got a lot of the guys I went for. Barry Church had a really good year last year. Plays a lot of linebacker style defense in that Dallas defense there, which is not really good. Nikovic, Levante David, I'm very high on. C.J. Mosley, the rookie. Went with Clowney. We'll see how that goes. And Earl Thomas, who was extremely good last year. So I'm very happy with my team. I take it you guys are thrilled with your teams as well.
Yeah, I mean, what I see here, and I'm looking at the matchups, man, everybody's teams are pretty evenly matched up. I mean, we're talking about a difference of like 5 to 10 points now. Jeff's team, maybe he's got to fill in some gaps here. I know some of his defensive picks were a little questionable.
Possibly retro bred as well.
Retro bred as well, but for the most part, a lot of these teams were very evenly matched, and it's going to be a good season. We definitely invite everybody to check us out as we were doing weekly recaps of the Fantasy League. And, getting some other people in the league on the phone here and finding out if they make a bad decision or bad call that week, what they were thinking, because we know it's going to happen.
There's going to be some kick in the nuts losses, and those people are going to have to speak up right away. We're going to put them in front of the mic, and they're going to have to answer to their heartbreaking loss.
And the other question is Mike?
So get ready for it, RJ.
Is Mike curse free this year? Oh boy.
We will see. It's going to be an epic season. Make sure you guys stay tuned here at Trippy Commentaries for our official Trippy Comms League. And we'll give you all the advice you need. So if you have questions for your own personal league, drop them in the comments. And we'll get back to you immediately. I'm RJ for Justin, FPS Kyle, Mike, and the rest of the members of the Trippy Comms official fantasy league. Peace out. More importantly, guys, always stay trippy.